Hello, happy Friday. Good.
Okay, go right ahead.
Well, all right, everybody. Happy Friday night flights. We're just getting going over here. We are sitting currently in Colorado Springs, and we're going to make a little trip. We're going to stop at Goodland Municipal on the way, and we're going to stop at Kearney Municipal. And our final stop for the evening will be St. Joseph's in Missouri. That is one of the stops that they had on the Pony Express, and basically we're doing a little bit of a Pony Express leg here. And yeah, it should be a lot of fun. We're going to be taking off in about a minute and a half. The whole gang is here. We got Coast, and we got Longhorn, and Travis, and Wingnut Bob. And we, like I said, we'll be taking off in about a minute. We don't need to go too high tonight. I think we're going to climb up. We're heading east, so the mountains are going to be behind us. So I think we can climb up to about maybe 10,000 feet for most of these legs. And that should be just fine. So welcome to Friday Night Flights, and have a good time, guys. There you go. I finally broadcast that correctly. How's everybody doing tonight?
I'm looking at the flight plan that I got off of, I don't remember if I got it off of Discord or off of the website, but I'm only seeing a start and an end. But
Really?
Stops in between.
Yeah. Is it the 20 or FS24 Pony Express flight plan?
Yep.
Huh?
It shows
Because
basically one leg of 456 miles.
Well, then that's wrong. Yeah, I popped it in and it worked just fine. I don't know what could be going wrong with that. That's very bizarre. Maybe
Let me try to
clear.
I'll try to re-download it again.
Yeah, there you go. Or clear it out and try to pop it back in or something.
Yeah, I gotta hop out of VR to do this.
I used the one that he posted here in Discord, and it worked pretty good for me. I think I got the whole plan.
Yeah, we'll give you a second to get that up and running. We're in no big hurry tonight. This is a regular average flight. It shouldn't take us too long.
Well, I hate to be a bummer, but I'm not planning on joining you guys for the flight. I tried reinstalling several times, and the multiplayer just doesn't work. It seems like it's like stuck on the old version somehow, and I've subscribed to the Insider Hub preview and went on their website for doing a clean install and did that, and I don't know. Like,
And
I
it's still
deleted the
getting
files
screwed,
they
huh?
say to delete.
Well, that's too
Yeah.
bad. That's all related to the beta tester version that you're using, right? And you tried to get back
Yeah.
on the regular one. Well, that's
Correct.
unfortunate, but yeah, hopefully you can get that squared away. I haven't heard anything from Coast yet. I don't know if your microphone's working tonight, buddy, but it's always good seeing you.
Yeah, I'm not flying with you again this evening. Sorry about that.
Still got them computer problems going on, hey, bud?
Yep. But the good news is my family is in Michigan tonight. My daughter.
They are. What are they doing in Michigan tonight?
My son-in-law runs a convention for engineering convention there.
Oh, well, excellent. I hope he's having a good night and enjoying our wonderful weather. It's about 68 degrees today, which is perfect. It's beautiful right now.
He's in Grand Rapids.
Oh, yes. Yeah, geez, that's just to the east of me a little bit. Yeah, southeast.
Some dirt away.
Yeah, about an hour and a half away. That's cool. He's very close. And Grand Rapids is a nice town, too. Anyway, guys, it's 12 after the hour. We're 2 minutes late, so let's go ahead and get these birds up in the air. Like I said, on this first leg, let's climb up to 10,000 feet. We probably won't need all of it, but that'll get us there. And let's see here. Let's go ahead and get this show rolling. Lazerbolt is spooling up. And we're rolling. Yeah, I have seen at least 3 or 4 actual players at this airport. I don't know if they're joining us or what, but there's another one, Lord something, Lingus or something like that.
I saw that Turd Ferguson you was talking about fly over us a minute ago. Looked like he was in that A400 prop.
Yeah, do you guys remember that guy called Turd Ferguson? We used to fly with him all the time. And it's been like, I ain't kidding you, it's been over a decade since I've seen him. But I definitely remember that name. That's a funny name. I think that was actually a character on a Saturday Night Live sketch at one time, Turd Ferguson. It's very funny. I think it was actually, gosh, what's the guy's name? The guy from Smokey and the Bandit.
Burt Reynolds.
Yes, yes, that was.
Do I get any points?
I was going to answer that. Daggum.
All right, guys, let's take a left-hand turn and get back on course here. We're heading east.
Feel like I'm following a UFO.
Yeah, I'm sure I look pretty strange to you since the model matching is pretty screwed up on this Hercules. I got some weird behavior on my airplane. It does not want to fly smooth. You might see me paused for just a second while I monkey with this. Just 1 second, you'll see me paused.
Yeah. Go back to the H model. That way everybody sees everybody. I think that's what the deal is. The J model is a great airplane, but nobody can see it.
Yeah, that's definitely what it is. The J model, other people won't be able to see it properly. Hopefully they'll fix that soon enough. Okay, I'm just behind you, Wingnut. I'm going to be catching up here.
You still look like the H model to me. You look perfectly fine.
Who, Bob?
Both of you.
Oh, both of us. Oh, that's weird because I'm in the J
Well,
and
you can see.
Bob's actually in the H, so you should see him properly.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just I think-
Do you have the the J model?
I don't know.
I do.
It's the reason. It's the reason.
Yeah,
He doesn't have-
yeah.
He doesn't have the J model.
Oh, okay.
See, you gotta delete the J model so the H, so everybody else
There
will
you
look
go.
right. Yeah, because it's substituting the H model for you, which looks perfectly fine to me.
I'm glad that it even at least does that. That's a pretty good model matching option. Usually it doesn't bother and it just gives you something weird like a jumbo jet.
Well, they're both from Captain Sim, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they don't do too many updates on their products, so I don't know how fast they're going to get that fixed, but I hope they get it fixed soon. I'm approaching 10,000 feet here, and I'm going to be holding there. I'm going to try to maintain 260 knots.
Well, gentlemen, hopefully I have everything sorted by next week's flight. I really did try to get it all fixed, and I don't know. I mean, I even asked AI and stuff, and didn't get
It just
anything that
couldn't do
was
it.
helpful. So
Yeah, I can
I'll
imagine
mess
that there
around
might
with it more.
be some odd remnants here and there. If you tried the beta version, it won't get rid of all of it somehow. I'm not sure how that works, but it's a shame that you can't fly with us this week, buddy. We missed you last week.
Yeah, I'll get it figured out one way or another. Maybe just wait till the release update. I mean, I don't know, but maybe I'll put in a ticket or something. If I
So one
can't get
thing-
it figured out this week.
One thing interesting I found out about the new update is you probably are aware of this too, especially since you have the new update. But apparently they're adding the ability to you don't have to stream your data anymore. If you have like a low bandwidth
Yes.
kind of situation going on, you can download entire chunks of the world and it doesn't stream it in. It's just on your computer. I think I seen some crazy numbers. Somebody did like the entire world, and the numbers involved were like they were bonkers, man. I mean, we were talking like 800 gigabytes kind of thing, you know, and it was nuts. But I'm kind of
Yeah.
excited about that because when I go camping, I'm using I use my what's it called, Starlink, when I go camping.
Yeah.
And when I'm on Starlink, I only have 50 gigs a month, so I burn through that in a hurry if I'm doing a flight. So what I could do before I go camping is just download whatever area we're going to be flying around in, and I won't have to worry about it. So I'm pretty eager to hear how well that works for people.
I think right now the sim on average downloads about 5 gigs an hour, but I'm not saying that the option isn't there. I just didn't see or notice the
Right. Yeah, that was
option
one of
or
the
get
only
into
things.
it for
I guess I'm not
digging into the
100%.
world.
I guess I'm not 100% sure that it's this update, but I thought it was. I mean, because there was people actually testing it that I saw the video on it.
I just didn't see it. I don't think I cruised around everything, but I did download like a lot of the assets, like all the planes and stuff and everything. And I did notice a difference of loading times and such and everything felt a little snappier. You know,
Well, that's good, and it's
it
already
did
pretty
feel
good.
better. So.
Yeah, that's good. It's already pretty good when it comes to that. But it's nice they can keep improving it.
Yeah, I think this next update will be definitely worth like its weight and everything. I don't know what to say exactly, but
Okay. You modeled into that thing. Weight of what?
huh? Worth its weight?
Weight in.
I don't know. Weight in pretzel snacks.
There you go.
Gotcha.
But yeah. I'm gonna head out for the evening though. You guys enjoy your flight, and happy D-Day. Thank you for all the
Okay.
people that served our country. And
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? Well, hey, before you head out, this is trivia night. If you want to hang out and help us answer some trivia questions, that'd be great. Or you can just leave us hanging. That's cool too.
they go fast. Like, I'd hang out with some friends that probably are gonna play some games a little later. Not right away, but
There you go.
um,
Yeah, like I was trying to tell the people earlier, I don't even think I had my microphone on. But tonight is trivia night. I will be asking some trivia questions. Don't feel bad if you don't know the answer. I specifically picked questions that are hard to answer, and I'd be surprised if anybody actually knew the answer. They're very strange, bizarre questions, really designed not as a test, but more of they're interesting questions that hopefully generate some conversation. You know what I'm saying? So it's that kind of stuff. So don't feel bad. It's like, oh, I'm not going to know any of these. No, you're probably not. I chose these very weird ass questions that probably nobody knows the answer to, but it's interesting conversation starter. So anyway, on that note, let's go ahead. Like I was saying earlier, I'm going to give you one question before you leave, Travis. One question before you head out.
sure.
Like I said earlier, a perfectly acceptable answer is nobody knows. I know these are trivia questions, but that is the answer to a few of these questions. Nobody knows. So yeah, people who are watching the stream and people who are listening on Discord and everything, don't feel bad about shouting out answers. Just go ahead and say anything you need. But here's a very simple, basic one here. What is pandiculation? Right, people, what's pandiculation? You probably do it every day.
Does that have to do with cooking on pans?
No. I think it's more
So
like
the
pan,
pandemic?
like it's pan, like a pandemic kind of thing, but completely different. Anyone? Anybody in chat? Go ahead and throw your answers in
Never heard
there
of
if
it.
you got one.
Never heard of it.
Well, a pandiculation is the act of yawning and stretching at the same time. How about that? I guess they got a word for everything, don't they?
And I'm pandiculating right now based on that question.
I'll do the law of that.
Yeah, that question is spurning lots of pandiculation.
Fluctuation.
That too. It doesn't take much to get me going on that. Alrighty, I'm holding, well, I'm trying to hold 260. It's slipping down to more like 255, but we're doing 10,260. We have just over 103 miles to get to our first stop here. Let's check out the map and see what we're looking at when we get there.
Alright, well, enjoy the Trivial Pursuit. I'm gonna head out. You guys have a good night.
Thanks,
Take care,
Travis. Have a good one, buddy.
Enjoy the flight.
Yeah, Travis.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you next week, one way or the other.
Yeah, I'll try to jump in, at least to say hi, if nothing else. Take
Right
care.
on, buddy. Yeah, have a good weekend, man. So, all right, guys, our first stop is going to be Renner Field at Goodland Municipal. When we get there, count on runway 12. The elevation of this place is 3,600 feet. That's not too crazy, but it's not nothing. So count on that, 3,600 feet. But we're going to be landing on runway 12. There's no ILS for this, but it is a 5,500 feet of concrete, which is pretty big. It's plenty big for us. It's not huge, but it's way big enough for us. So count on runway 12 when we get to Kilo Golf Lima Delta, K Gold. So like I said, this is basically a Pony Express flight that we're doing. How about a Pony Express question here?
We should be flying the Curtis Jenny.
we could. It'd be about as fast as a pony. How many ponies did the Pony Express use?
113.
Close.
Look at these horses.
Costa's right. Turns out you were not close. I was kidding. They didn't use any ponies. They used adult horses. Trick question.
Oh,
All right. One last quick trivia question here. Let's see what we got. Okay, this is a stupid one, but there are two acceptable answers. Okay, two acceptable answers here. What rhymes with month?
what? Month?
What rhymes with month?
Oh, month. Probably nothing.
Yeah, okay, you got it. Nobody knows. Nothing rhymes with month. The other acceptable...
I know something that rhymes weekly with it.
like a slant rhyme, they call it.
It's
Yeah.
weekly.
Slant rhymes don't count. Like I said, there are two acceptable answers. One of the answers, Longhorn gave, that nothing rhymes with month. There's a list of about 10 words or so in the English language nothing rhymes with. They have a word for that. I don't know what the word is. The second acceptable answer is no, it doesn't. What doesn't rhyme with month?
That's
Oh.
like a dad joke.
It's going to be a tough crowd. It's going to be a tough crowd
Very
tonight,
good,
guys.
very good.
Oh, I did get that one.
Oh, well, you know it's a tough crowd. What are you trying
Like I
to
say,
do?
I'm losing viewers already with that last one. I do not see any of you guys. I don't know if you're in front of me or behind me.
You're way back there.
way back
You're
there.
back with it. Yeah, Wingnut's in front of me by about a mile and a half.
Well, shit, I'm going
And-
way faster than 260, and I'm still falling behind. How fast are you guys going?
I'm doing 250, or actually under 250.
Yeah,
Good Lord,
slowed
I
down
didn't
to
even see your
230
guys' name
to try to
tags.
get you to catch up.
Okay, well, I'm going to just put the metal to the pedal here and put the metal to the other metal.
Yeah, I see you with that guy in the A400. I see, or at least I see both your name tags back there behind us.
Right, yeah, I don't see him. He's way back there. It's Lord
Yeah,
something
I
or
don't-
other.
I figured maybe you were hanging out with him.
No, he's a couple miles behind me.
I don't even. I don't see Laser's tag anywhere. I see Longhorn. I see Blackbird.
Oh, I see you guys. You guys are way to the right of me.
Oh, okay, so maybe that wasn't you. Oh, there you are. Yep, I see your tag. Yo, you're way over there. Where the heck are you going?
Well, I'm following the pink line. I don't know what you guys are doing. Oh, you know what it is? I deleted my departure procedure. The departure procedure had we going a couple miles one way, and then I got rid of that just so I wouldn't skip that part of the flight plan. You know what I mean? So I'm just on a direct straight line to the airport, and you guys were jogged out a couple miles because you had a departure procedure.
Yep. Now it makes sense. I better speed back up then.
So I don't know about you, Coast, but like I mentioned earlier, we got some great weather going on around here. It's best weather we've had all year so far. It's like 65 degrees. It finally feels like summer a little bit.
We've had 2 above 80 days.
You had 80 degrees already?
85.
Good Lord, man. I thought you guys would be cooler than us, but no, that's way hotter than what we got. We haven't even hit 70 yet. The 65 degrees is perfect. I'm loving this. It's a Friday night. There's some kind of a band playing down the road. They must be outdoors because I can hear them like they're right in my living room. But it's a beautiful Friday evening.
Yeah, we got something called Music on Main Street, and going right through the village right here. And they have like 8 or 9 bands playing all along Thursday nights.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, the towns like to do that kind of music festival sort of thing lately. It's a pretty good time. They block off the roads and they serve beer and snacks and everybody listens to the band. A real generic run-of-the-mill center of the road kind of band, you know. So, I better slow down because I'm probably way ahead of you now.
Or just make a right turn.
Well, how about you guys take a left turn? Hell, I'm going like 330 knots. I better slow down big time.
Geez. Yeah.
I was trying to catch up to you and you weren't even in front of me.
Yeah, I couldn't tell on the name tags that were behind me. I could see Blackbird, and I was thinking that's what you were in. But it was too, and the name tags were mixed in with the cloud, so I couldn't read what they were saying. So I just thought that was you back there. But now I do see you off to the left.
Okay, it is time for another interesting trivia question here. This one's aviation related, so y'all might know this. There's a chance anyway, but it is interesting aviation related stuff. Here we go. Why did Shorty Longbottom have a pink Spitfire? Way back in World War II, some guy called Shorty Longbottom had a pink Spitfire. Why did he have a pink Spitfire? Anyone? Anybody in chat? Anybody in Discord? Go ahead and throw your theories out there. What do you got? Why did Shorty Longbottom have a pink Spitfire?
Must have been trying to impress his daughter.
Or his boyfriend, right?
Or his boyfriend. Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Here's a clue. I don't think he was the only one that had a pink Spitfire, judging by the answer. Anyone? Not even any random guesses?
It was a racing Spitfire.
Negative. It was used in wartime, kind of a Spitfire. Nobody.
Was these the ones they tried to chase the V1s with?
Negative. That's a good guess, though. Well, here's the answer. Shorty Longbottom had a pink Spitfire because he was a reconnaissance airplane flyer. Guys that flew over countries and took pictures. And reconnaissance Spitfires were painted pink because it makes them harder to spot on a cloudy day. So when they're up against the clouds, that color pink, you can hardly see it. So it's basically camouflage. Who would have thought that pink makes a good camouflage, but when you're in the clouds, it's very good camouflage.
You should think they would have painted all of them pink then.
You know, it seems like that, doesn't it? But I mean, I guess it has the opposite effect if it's not a cloudy day. If it's like a bright sunny day, you stick out really, really badly. But then again, I don't know what the color of the actual RAF were. They were probably green or something, which sticks out too, right? They were green or actually kind of a olive, weird.
camouflage, a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, they probably had the camouflage so you couldn't see them when they were on the ground, or they'd be harder to see.
Yeah.
You know. And I guess probably the bottom of them was painted white. That makes it harder to see when they're in the air.
Why I chose an orange drone.
And orange, oh yeah, you can spot that sucker a long ways away. Yeah, technically, when you're flying a drone, you're supposed to keep it within line of sight. You're supposed to keep it in sight at all times. It's kind of hard for mine. Mine's really small. It fits in the palm of my hand. So after it gets about a quarter mile away, I can't see it. And it goes like 3 miles. So it's got a hell of a long range, way farther than I can see it. But if I got caught by a police officer flying my drone and I can't see it, that's illegal. You can't do that. Technically, when you're flying a drone, you're supposed to have a spotter with you, somebody who at all times keeps an eye on it.
You think their drones would have some sort of blinking light on them?
Well, they do. Yeah, mine has a blinking light too. And still, it's
Small-
you know,
small
I don't
one,
really see that light that much. It's not all that bright during the daytime, and you can't fly at night.
I put some external ones on there so I could fly it at night.
Oh,
The
right on.
requirement there is they have to be visible from 3 miles out, which they are.
At
Or
night,
least the place
yeah,
I
it
bought
probably
from
helps.
claim they are.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
But it helps during the daytime too, because I put them on white strobe, because they flash. I can set them for either white, green, or red. And I put 4, 1 on each arm. And then when I put them on white, I actually can see it for quite a bit further than I could without the lights.
Yeah, I love
so-
my drone too. It's great. I got a little DJI Mini. It's a small one. I mean, it's not even rated to fly at night. If you try to fly it at night and it senses that it's kind of dark, it'll just land. It won't fly. It'll just say, nope, can't fly at night. Gentlemen, we're about 43 miles out from Kilo Golf Lima Delta. Like I said, we're going to be coming in on runway 12. That's the longest runway that they've got for us. It's only 5,500 feet. But count on that, runway 12. I'm going to be jogging off to the left here a little bit so we can line up for runway 12 here pretty soon. Like I said, the elevation there at the airport is neighborhood of 3,000 something feet. Let me double check that. Yeah, we got 3,600 feet of elevation. So I'm going to, before too long, when I get about 20 miles out, I'm going to begin descending down to about, I don't know, about 7,000. We don't got far to go. We're only at 10 right now, so I think 6,000 or 7,000 should be plenty to come in and land. Count on runway 12, guys. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and jog off to the left here about 10 degrees, maybe 5 degrees. So I see we got a couple people watching the stream out there. How's everybody doing? Go ahead and shout out in the chat there and let me know how everybody is or who you are or what you're doing. If anybody ever felt like joining us, it's real easy to do so. We got the information for the group flight in the description of the video. You can grab the game itself on GamePass, so that's a good cheap way to do it. It's an expensive program if you buy it. And we'd love to have you. If anybody wants to hang out, that'd be great. You can join us here in Discord, and we'll share the PLN file with you, and you can pop it right into the game, and it'll have the entire flight planned right in your GPS waiting for you. So, yeah, it's good to see everybody. Happy Friday. So I see you guys back there now, pretty far, about 8 miles. And
Yeah, my
slightly to
flight
the
plan
right.
disappeared on me too for some reason. I had it all. It looked great. Then it was just one solid line all of a sudden.
Really?
Yep.
The flight
Changed.
plan, you say? Huh, that's
Yeah.
unusual.
Yeah, my pink line, it went to one straight solid line from the destination, or from the departure to the destination, straight line.
Oh, mine don't do that. I need that. Of course, we could just do direct to each airport if we had to, but that defeats the whole purpose of having a PLN file.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I have seen some strange stuff before to where I popped the flight plan in and I thought there was something screwed up because when I look at it on the map, the line only goes about a quarter of the way and stops. But what was going on is the line was interfering with a mountain on the map, and the
Yeah, I've
mountain,
seen that.
yeah, I've had that before. It was like, oh my God, what happened to my flight plan? It's like, no. There's a mountain in the way, and the flight plan thinks you want to go straight through it instead of over it.
Yeah, it was when I first loaded it. I could see all the waypoints and the airports that we were going to, but then all of a sudden it just shifted.
Huh,
Yeah,
bizarre. Weird stuff happening tonight. That's par for the
when I
course,
had
though.
that,
There's
I
always
just-
something weird. Oh, sorry, Longhorn.
Yeah, when I went in, I went back in and reloaded the flight plan off of Discord, and I've got the right flight plan in there now, where it actually shows me all the stops now.
Okay, well, cool.
Yeah,
I'm glad
my
that was all it
autopilot.
took. You did that right
I
on the fly, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's good news. Yeah, good deal. It's strange that it's given us weird things like that. That's new. There's always something new weird going on. All right, we're only 25 miles out. I will start beginning my descent here. I'm going to drop her down to about 7,000.
These farms all look like pizzas.
Yeah, maybe that's them weird crop circles they keep talking about.
I noticed there's a lot of those around here. I think that's just that they got those round irrigation systems, so you might as well have a round field.
Yeah, they
Yeah, well-
got them on those, they got on wheels. They pivot around central point.
I mean, if
Yeah,
these
they
were
come all
bombers, though,
automated.
these look suspiciously like targets. Don't they? They look just like bullseyes, man. Got plenty of wind farms around here, don't they? Goes hand in hand with all the flat fields and everything. We're exactly 20 miles out from Kilo Lima Golf Delta. Actually, it's Golf Lima Delta, isn't it?
Yep. K Gold.
Yeah, K Gold. We begin turning back towards the airport here. I think we're going to be lined up relatively-ish. We'll be lined up close enough. Like I said, this is about a 5,000-foot runway. It's plenty big enough for us. It's not huge or anything, but it's big enough. Well, should see some kind of sign of this airport here relatively quickly. So we're only about 14 out. There's nothing in the way of it. Should be easy to spot.
Just look for where circles aren't.
Yeah, look for where there's no circles. So that'd be the best place. Lasers turning final, runway 12. Little surprised I don't see the airport just yet, but of course my eyes aren't what they used to be. But I know I'm heading right at it. Actually, I can see where it's going to be. Yeah, the streets of Ludington are busy tonight. Like I said, they got that music festival kind of going on, and there's all kinds of people running around tonight having a good old time, enjoying that weather that finally came. How's everybody's bird acting tonight? You having a smooth flight so far?
So far,
Longhorn, you in the J or the H?
the H.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you have the J, do you?
No.
Yeah, that's the reason why no matter what we're in, you'll always see us properly.
Well, if it substitutes you properly. to
Right.
Something close.
Yeah, so you can see us properly.
Instead of flying baggage handlers.
Well, you know, tonight we're technically, I don't know, why don't you say we're carrying the old Pony Express mail. They found about 2,000 pounds worth of Pony Express mail that never got delivered, and we're going to take it to them in Missouri. It's going to be a little
I'm
bit
still
late.
Not seeing you, Laser.
You still don't see me at all?
No.
Is that what you said?
No, I don't see you at all. No name tag, no plane, no UFO or anything.
No UFO or nothing. Well, I'm about ready to land. I'm less than 5 miles out.
Yeah, maybe that's you're just farther enough ahead of me. I'm not picking you up yet or something.
Could be. Yeah, this runway or this airport has plenty of runways. They've got this 5,000 footer we're going to land at, and they've got another 3,000 footer, and then there's also a grass strip. So this damn airport's got a little bit of everything. Luckily, the straightest to close, the closest to straight in for us is the largest runway, so that works out just fine.
I have the runway in sight.
Gentlemen, when you get down, back taxi to runway, was it 12? Back taxi to 12, and we'll be taking off from there. There's not a whole lot going on around here, is it? I mean, it goes straight from Rocky Mountains to flat as a pancake.
Sure.
I guess that's how it works, though, isn't it?
Yeah. That's when you get out here, flat is the name of the game.
Then you keep going west, and it never really gets flat. Alright, Lazerbolt's on 1 mile final, runway 12, as that is.
Yeah, the first time I flew into Iowa City, that was interesting. Saw the Midwest for the first time.
Why would you go to Iowa City? Must have been a
I
job.
was working out there, yeah. See the sailplanes down there?
Yeah, I saw that. This must be one of those, yes, a glider airport.
I looked at the winds. The winds are pretty low.
Yeah, I don't have much wind here at all, but I am using the a preset weather kind of thing. It doesn't have much wind. I think there's 4-knot wind here at this airport, so that's very negligible.
Don't have any mountains, so sailplanes don't quite make it much because you want to get some thermals.
Yeah, those gliders like a little bit of a hilly region where they can catch those updrafts. This is a weird place for them.
Yeah, they can get it from the.
Maybe they
side
just
of
tow
the
them west a couple miles, and there's some mountains over there, you know.
Because the air gets pushed up by the mountains.
Got that bird down solid, Longhorn. Got Bob coming in, looking smooth.
Hey Bob, have you tried flying the Dirty 30? What the heck happened to my computer? Oh, there we go. Have you tried flying the Dirty 30 with the latest update?
He's busy.
Don't talk to a pilot when he's landing.
Yeah, kind of went to the grass there, but yes, I have, Longhorn. Sorry about that.
Have you had any problem taxiing that thing? Because I cannot get the nose wheels to steer.
Yeah, remember I told you that last week?
Yeah,
No, I don't
that
remember
was the number one thing you said about it. Everything seems to work pretty good, but taxiing, forget about it.
Okay. All right. So it wasn't just because, I mean, I went through and like tried to remap everything, and that little the little round nose wheel steer on the left side there, even got where because I used my twist on my yoke, and when I twist that now, that thing spins around, but the wheels do not move. That thing just goes straight no matter what.
No, it's not
That's a
just
shame.
you. In fact, yeah, I said that last week. I tried all the same thing you just said, and nothing works.
Isn't
And
there?
there's a guy that posted a video and said the same thing. He can't get it to taxi. I mean, he can get it to taxi, but it will not turn.
Right, as long as you're going straight, you can get there just fine. Yeah, there's no wheel lock on that. Like, I mean, I know a lot of tail draggers have a tail wheel lock, but why wouldn't have a front wheel lock? So that doesn't make sense.
No, they did an update. It was working fine before the update. After they did this latest update, they broke the steering.
Okay,
Yeah,
well
that's
that's
too
good
bad.
to know, because that'll probably be an easy fix then.
Hopefully.
Otherwise, the amount that I flew it was pretty good. I went ahead and just started on the runway, but I did something. What did I do? Oh, I ended up crashing into a hill, and so how it puts you back up in the air. Well, it put me back up in the air, but it put me back up in the air without my engines running or anything, and I couldn't
Oh,
get them
geez.
to restart one. So
That's
I just
no
kept
good.
like a never-ending cycle of back up in the air crash, back up in the air crash.
Yeah, that looks like a
Yeah.
pretty impressive airplane. I can't wait until it's fully released. I'll be definitely into flying that.
Oh, it flies really good now, minus the taxi wheel issue, because it was nice and smooth and full control. So I like it. I think it's gonna be a great aircraft once they get
Yeah,
done
it
with
flies a lot smoother than when it first came out, but like that's no good. No, you can't steer the doggone thing.
No, you're gonna have to steer it unless you start right on the runway every time. That's no good.
Well, and then when you land, you
Yeah.
better hope you're landing straight and don't even bother taxiing off the runway. Just
Well,
runway
guys,
to
we're going to
runway.
be taking back off here in about 30 seconds, so get ready to go. We're going to be starting this second leg here in about 30 seconds, guys. I think the same thing should work pretty good. We'll climb back up to 10,000 feet. That's a nice, comfortable altitude. And, yeah, we'll climb to 10,000, and we're going to hold 260 knots. Yeah, this is definitely a glider port here. Look at all the gliders back there. Half of them are still in their containers. Alrighty guys, it's time to get the show on the road here. Lazerbolt is spooling up and rolling. Yeah, I flew around the glider kind of thing once or twice just because for one of those missions, and I didn't like it. There's not much there for me. I didn't dig that at all. It was boring. Just basically you spend the entire flight trying to find an updraft. Yeah, you don't need to worry about hitting a mountain around here. That is for sure. It is odd, though, that, I mean, we're still at an elevation of 3,600 feet. It really doesn't look like it. climbing 10,000. All right, guys, it is trivia night after all. How about a simple trivia question? This will be easy. Everybody knows this one. What's the third condiment? And I'm not talking about ketchup and mustard. I'm talking about the third table condiment, where most people, almost every house on planet Earth nowadays has salt and pepper at the dinner table. But in the Victorian era, table settings had 3 shakers for condiments. And they find them all the time. And Victorian era is not that long ago, the era. So they find these table settings all the time in Victoria type stuff that have 3 shakers. 1 for salt, 1 for pepper, and what's in the third one? Anybody? Anybody in the chat? Anybody in Discord? Please throw your answers out there. What's the third condiment? No wild guesses?
Oh, I'll just say sugar because I know that's wrong. But
It's not sugar.
molasses. Well,
Montreal
that's,
steak seasoning.
No, but that does sound pretty good.
It's the best, especially when you're cooking a prime rib.
Oh, you
I'm
had me
trying
at
to think
prime
back
rib,
of
man.
all my, roadshow things where they go to England and do those things. I'm trying to think back of those.
So anyone, any guesses? What's the third condiment on Victorian era table settings?
It's got to be pretty readily available hundreds of years ago.
It was very readily available, and almost every Victorian household had it. Y'all give up? We had one answer, sugar. That's the one. Nobody can guess another answer. I just feel like no one's playing along at all. I spent all week on these damn questions. Well, the answer is...
condiment, right?
What's the third condiment? The answer is nobody knows. That is one of the nobody knows answers. For some odd reason, nobody
Wait a
knows
minute.
what the hell that third one was. And the Victorian era wasn't all that long ago, but it was
Then how do they know there was a third if nobody knows?
because they find them all the time. They find these table settings that have a salt shaker and a pepper shaker and a third one. And it was so ubiquitous, it was such a common thing that everybody had, that it never ended up being written down in any literature. It's not in any documents. Nobody ever discussed what was in that third shaker. There's lots of theories. Some people think it was some kind of a mustard powder. Some people think it was like ground up garlic or something like that. But nobody is sure. It's quite a debate. There's people debating what in the hell the third condiment is, but there's no record whatsoever of any kind of anybody mentioning what that third condiment is, because it was such a common, ubiquitous thing that people just didn't even talk about it. All right, we are 125 miles out from our next stop. Here is going to be Goodland Municipal. Actually, that was where we just left. We're heading to Kearney right now. Kearney.
One theory is the third condiment was dehydrated vinegar.
Yeah. Like I said, there's a lot of different people have different ideas of what it could be, but nobody knows for sure what it was. I mean, I imagine there could be cases where it was dealer's choice. Certain households might have, mustard powders. Certain households might have had chili powders. Certain households might have had dehydrated vinegar. But nobody knows for sure what the hell that third condiment is. And like I said, the weird thing is the Victorian era, that's not like going back to caveman days. That's not that long ago. But like I said, it was such a common thing, people didn't even talk about it. It was never written down in any literature we've ever found. It's never been talked about.
I guess it comes down to this. The theory was for dry mustard, and when mustard became liquefied and they had refrigeration, they just put it in the refrigerator.
They just started using wet mustard.
Wet mustard from the refrigerator, yeah.
Right on. I better slow down here. I'm going quite a bit faster than 260. Trying to keep the group
Might as well make
together.
myself useful because I'm not flying.
Right on. Oh yeah, you can fact check my quote unquote facts. You know how trivia is. Sometimes it's a fact, but it's not really true. That's how trivia works. Here's an easy question. There's only two answers. Which is wider, Australia or the moon?
I would say Australia.
Just because of the nature of the question, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you are correct. Australia is wider than the moon. If Australia was in the night sky, it would be as big as the moon.
Well, that's interesting.
Oh, one more space question, and then we'll get to doing some. I'll check on the airport information, but one more space question for you. What is usually the closest planet to Earth?
Venus.
Venus?
Negative. Besides Earth, I guess. But no, negative. It's not Venus. That's a good question. I do believe Venus is sometimes the closest.
Rephrase the question again. What is always the closest?
Nope. What is usually the closest planet to Earth? Oh, we got somebody here. Producer Steve says, "Evening all." Well, hey, Producer Steve, how you doing, buddy? I'm asking some trivia questions tonight to the gang. The trivia question we're currently on, let's see if you can answer it. Anybody, go ahead and pipe in. What is usually the closest planet to Earth? I'll even tell you this, 47% of the time, it's the closest planet to Earth.
Then that wouldn't make it the most, then, would it?
Well, there's 8 planets.
Well, are there any other planets that are closer to the Earth than Venus and Mars?
Sometimes.
Gotta be one with elliptical orbit, maybe Mercury.
As Producer Steve says, Venus or Mars, also negative. Those are very close to us sometimes, but 47% of the time, I'm going to just give you the answer. 47% of the time, Mercury is the closest planet to Earth. Because all the times that all the rest of the planets are on the other side of the sun, they're super far away from us, but Mercury is never that far away from us. Even when it is on the other side of the sun, it's right there. So 47% of the time, Mercury is the closest planet to Earth.
So we got Mercury in a third shaker, is that it?
Yeah. Oh boy, do you think they'd put Mercury in a salt shaker? That's a good way to get rid of your guests.
Well, I reloaded the flight plan a second time. It shows the lines in the correct format, but my autopilot is still confused. It says it's the next location is 253 miles away. And
it's probably going
autopilot
up.
won't lock onto it.
That number is probably going up because we're getting farther and farther away from that waypoint. That's weird. Is this the second time you had to reload your flight plan?
Yeah, and it's not letting me lock onto it, so I'm just have to fly heading mode.
That's
right on.
what I'm
It's
having to do
probably
now.
it probably considers the leg you're on the leg that we finished already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you could probably advance it some way, but I'm not 100% sure how to do that in Hercules.
I'm not going to worry about it now. I'm just fly heading mode.
Yeah, there you go.
As long as I can see the line, the path that we're supposed to be on, I'll follow that with the heading.
Yeah, mine's not following the pink line anymore. It keeps taking me way off to the right.
Yep, mine does doing the exact same thing.
Well, let's see here. We are inbound to Kearney Municipal, Kilo Echo Alpha Romeo. Well, we do not have an ILS indicator at either of these runways that we got going on here, but we're going to be landing on runway 18. So count on runway 18 when we get to Kearney Municipal. It is 7,000 feet of bituminous. That's plenty. Only at an elevation of 2,000 feet, so we are dropping elevation around here. We're definitely heading east. So count on that when we get to Kearney. We've got about another 91 miles to go. We're going to be landing on runway 18. Count on runway 18 when we get to Kilo Echo Alpha Romeo. It's almost to the point nowadays where I get a little disappointed if there's no ILS feather. It's always nice to just set that and forget it. Alright, how about another quick trivia question? This is a simple, easy one. Like I said, these are all trivia questions that I don't expect most people would know the answer to, but they're designed to generate some discussion at least. What's the most volcanic country on Earth? Anyone? What is the most volcanic country on Earth?
U.S.
Nailed it. Coast with his big brain. Nailed it. The United States has 173 volcanoes, giving it the most volcanoes. However, bit of a trick question because Indonesia has by far the most active volcanoes. The United States has a bunch of dormant volcanoes. So if you're looking for active volcanoes, you got to go to the Ring of Fire near Indonesia.
Yeah, my internet connection just quit on me and came back,
Really?
but I don't see anybody.
Oh no. Boy, everybody's having weird issues tonight.
Well, Longhorn popped back in. Maybe it's just taking a minute.
Yeah, I see you back there. Says you're about 5 miles behind me.
Yeah, I got Longhorn about 9 miles back. At least he is catching up, slowly. You know what, guys, now that I'm looking at the map a little easier, it's going to be way easier for us to come in from the south instead of from the north, so let's scratch the runway 18 idea. Let's go ahead and say we're going to be coming in on runway 36 instead.
3-6, okay.
Here we go, 36. Yeah, it says I have a 4-knot wind. That's negligible though. But yeah, let's do runway 36. Like I said, 7,000 feet of bituminous. That's a huge runway. Hey, you know what? Look at this. Runway 36 does have an ILS frequency. Hot dog. Hot dog. Yeah, let's go ahead and do an ILS landing at 36. That will be a frequency of 110.9. 110.9 for runway 36. Put that in up here in the navigation radio. One 110.9. All right, we're still 73 miles out from Kearney. Yeah, apparently they say one of the most volcanic places on Earth too is the South Pole, Antarctica. They're saying like every 1,000 miles there's a volcano underneath the ice. If those volcanoes ever decided to erupt, it would melt all the ice and we'd be in some big trouble. But there's apparently under the ice of Antarctica there are tons of volcanoes. Everybody have an interesting week? Anything fun happen to you?
Nah, this old lady put me to work.
Just putting you to work. Huh?
have to actually go back to work to get some rest.
Yeah. Like I said, I need to find a job so I can take a vacation. I do have an interview at, of all places, an interview on Sunday. I've got an interview at Home Depot. Hooray. All the way down to Home Depot, but let's hope they give me a job. Turns out nobody else wants to hire an old grumpy white guy.
Is it not too far away from you, is it?
Well, this is the very first time I've ever had trouble finding a job in my entire life. I'm talking even like last summer. Usually I take the winters off, and then in the summertime I'll find something to do and make my money, you know, and then hibernate in the winter again. And this is the first year I can't find nothing to do, you know. Even Walmart said, nah, we're good. It's like, geez, oh, Pete, I just want to find, you know, a 3-day-a-week job where I can just kind of do my thing and make some money in the summertime. Yeah, it's rough out there right now. And then, you know, at the same time, you keep hearing people talk that it's like, oh, people are having trouble hiring people because nobody wants to work nowadays and everybody's looking for workers. Every place I go, they're like, yeah, no thanks. We don't need nobody your age. It's like, well, geez, man, I'm far too young to retire. I need to make some money here in the next decade.
They ever say anything about age when they interview, Larry?
Sorry, Coast?
They ever mention age when they interview?
No, if they did, they'd probably get sued.
Oh, would they ever?
Yeah, they can't mention, age or anything.
Just looking out for you.
Yeah. Well, one place I got an interview even. I went in for the interview, and I applied for the job online. And I went in for the interview and everything like that, and they was like, okay, yeah, we'll call you. And I don't know, I came back, I went and checked out the online thing about 3 days later because they never called me. And it said something about I'm no longer being considered for the position because I failed the test. I'm like, test? What test are you talking about? I just went in for an interview. I mean, was that a test? I don't think I said anything that crude. Well, my main job that I was really hoping to get back to was that working for the, for the state park. I was really hoping to get in there in April, and they haven't called me. They were supposed to be calling people in April. But our state park is under construction at the moment, and I don't think they're still fully open. So I'm not counting that out just yet. I'm still crossing my fingers hoping they call me. Until then, I guess I'm going to work at Home Depot.
Yeah, I've been in that position before. People, some in-between jobs, and nobody'd be hiring anywhere.
Yeah.
So I know what that's like.
Yeah, like I said, I keep hearing all these employers complaining that nobody wants to work nowadays and we can't find workers. It's like, really? Because that hasn't been my experience. You know, maybe you can't find 30-year-olds that want to work, but this 60-year-old wants a job, man. I can't retire yet. This is way too early to retire. I need some money.
I do see a lot of posts from people looking for work campers.
Work campers?
Yeah, basically working at a state park with you.
Oh, right.
Get a free place to park your RV with hookups usually.
Yeah.
And then you just gotta work 20 to 40 hours depending on what park it is.
Yeah, that's not exactly what I'm looking for. Because I'd still have a house to pay bills on. I'd still have, you know what I mean? That's not a good way to make money. You know, I mean, like I said, I'd have a house that I'm not even living at that I still have to pay for. So that would be a horrible way to make money. If I lived out of my RV, that'd be perfect. You know, especially don't want to spend the entire summer in one damn campground.
Depends on where it's at.
That is true, but still, no thanks.
I can think of a few that I'd like to. But it would kind of suck to be stuck working all day for most of the week at a campground when all the people coming in are coming in to have a good time.
Right. Well, it's just I can't imagine why the hell would I want to do that with my summer. I'm trying to earn some money so I can stay home, not spend the entire summer in a different state or something, or at least a different area. That doesn't sound good to me at all. Like I said, if I was living in my RV, that'd be the perfect job. Let me live there instead, But I'm not. I still got a whole house I need to pay for. I can't go camping all summer. We are 42 miles out from our destination here of Kearney. Won't be too long. I'm going to be jogging off to the right a little bit, I believe. That's how we're going to get lined up for runway 36. A reminder, 36 has an ILS frequency of 110.9er. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and jog to the right now so I can get an early start on that ILS approach and make sure everything's all lined up. Alrighty, a quick trivia question for y'all. Quick one. Go ahead and shout out any answers you got, or if you're in the chat, go ahead and pop up your answers. Keep it clean. But the trivia question is, what makes up more than 70% of the internet? 70% of the internet is all what?
Ads.
Politics.
Yeah. I'm surprised ain't nobody shouted out porn.
Well, that was my first.
That was my first guess.
That almost seems too obvious, doesn't it? I think actually we can give this one to Coast again. Coast got another one right. He said
What'd you say,
advertisements.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
70% of the internet is spam. Spam is by far the most common thing on the internet. Porn makes up less than 1% of it, which surprised me. I'm going to go ahead and start bringing this bird down here a little bit. We have an elevation of 2,000 feet here at our destination airport, so I'm going to bring it down to about 6,000.
The ILS says to catch it at 4. So
That's only 2,000 feet above ground. What are you going to catch it 2 miles away?
No, this is where's this at? Well, that marker Corno, which is part of the, and then even still, all as far out as the chart goes, it shows remain within 10 nautical miles. It says 4,000 feet. At least I know I'll come in under it instead of over it.
I'm going to say, I usually come into an ILS about 4,000 above the ground, and that's only 2,000 above the ground right there. But we're not going to hit a mountain, so why not, right? I kind of feel like my, like I just got within range of the ILS because all my instrument just kind of switched around. I'm going to set that radio beam coupler to AFF. Set your mode selector over to ILS 1. Reminder, when you set your ILS, the heading for runway 36, let's see here, heading is 3 degrees magnetic. That's odd, but yeah, 3 degrees east of north. I think we'll be fine if I just put my course heading on like 36, maybe. Nah, screw it. We're going full 3 degrees. 3 degrees magnetic for that runway 36.
Where are you finding the 3? Because I'm showing 2 on the chart. Not that 1 degree.
1 degree different. I'm looking at the runway information. Runway 36, 2 knot wind, heading 7 degrees and 3 degrees magnetic. 7 degrees
Okay,
true, 3 degrees magnetic.
Okay, I'm looking at the ILS chart.
I mean, it's like 1 degree off isn't even worth mentioning, is it? Apparently it is.
No, I just was wondering if you're getting your information from a different place than me.
I'm getting it right from the EFB.
Yeah, well, that's where the ILS chart is on the FB2. That's where it has the depart or
can see
the
the
approach angles and stuff on
the
it.
approach procedure.
Yeah.
That is pretty handy. I think I'm close enough now to go ahead and latch onto that frequency, but I fear that I'm still way above that glide slope. I'm going to have to bring it down. I am just barely under the glide slope at this point, but it's good beans. Alright, Lazerbolt's in full-blown ILS mode. Getting ready to capture the glide slope here. Hopefully that works fine. You know what I just realized? We're having so much fun. This is our second stop of the evening already. This is going to be our penultimate stop. So when we do get down, go ahead and back taxi to runway 36. And we'll take a 10-minute break. This is our airport. We take a little break. Grab yourself a cocktail, grab yourself coffee, hit the restroom, get a snack, do what you need to do. We'll be back up in the air shortly.
Wow, I didn't realize, Longhorn, you're like 6 miles off to my right wing.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I had plenty of time to catch that glide slope in the ILS.
And Laser's 5 miles over to my left wing in front.
Right on. I'm 13-mile final approach, runway 36.
That makes me the middle child again. Yeah, I'm locking on to it. It's pulling me to the left now.
Yeah, I locked on quite early on this one.
I expect mine's going to start turning me any minute now. It says I'm 22 miles away, and I'm just about to start turning. Yep, there goes my needle. It's starting to move. Yep, there goes the plane.
Just a reminder to everybody, if you would like to join us one of these nights, we would love to have you. We're very open here. Come on and join us. You can get the information for the group flight right in the description of the video. It shows where we're going, what we're going to be flying, and all that good stuff. Also, you can join us in Discord, grab the PLN file. That way your GPS will be all set up and have all the information you need. You can get the game itself on GamePass. That's a good way to do it. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I think that's all the housekeeping I need to do for the moment. But yeah, please join us. Airport is just on the other side of this river.
I wonder what the blue signal signifies around my airplane on the EFB.
The blue circle around it?
Yeah, the blue. Yeah,
That's
the blue
how you
disc
can tell. That's how you can tell which airplane is you and not someone else.
Huh? Okay.
Otherwise, you would look just like everybody else.
Well, no, because my plane is bigger than everybody else's.
Oh,
Oh, quit trying to come on.
yes.
stop that.
I just figured the blue makes it easier for you to find yourself. But I never noticed they're
That might
slightly
be
bigger.
it. Yeah, yeah, that might be it. But your plane is always just a little bit bigger than all the other aircraft.
I guess the answer to that question is nobody knows.
Sounds trivial.
Nice, Ghost. I like that. Yeah, Lazerbolt is on a 3-mile final, runway 36. Kearney Municipal.
Seven miles back myself.
And I am 9.
If you guys want
There we
to,
go.
we could simulate on this last leg since we are doing the final Pony Express. Add a whole bunch of cargo if you want. Add a half a ton worth of mail, and we'll bring that to the final destination here. Is it St. Joseph, Missouri?
So that N783FE is a fixed-wing, single-engine type aircraft from 1991.
Is that what somebody else is in?
That's what the registry says.
I'm just trying to catch up to you, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Something called the N number registry, where all aircraft are registered. I looked
Right.
up the aircraft's N number to find out its serial number, status, manufacturer, certification date was 91.
Oh, I see.
Manufacturer year was 1991.
For what aircraft?
For the aircraft that I saw on your when you were
Yeah, the
coming
N. Was that the N783FE?
in. Yep,
Yeah, I see him up there.
it's 208.
It's a big old,
Says that-
basically a jetliner. I see we have Bruce Doran joining us on the chat. Hi, Bruce. He asks us how we're doing. Well, I'm doing just fine, buddy. Happy Friday to you. We just got to Kearney Memorial or Municipal. Jeez, I can't read or speak today. Oh no, what the
Heck
hell
was that?
happened there? You got your
That's what I'm
gear
trying
up?
to figure out. No, my gear's.
Your
Why
gear
is my
looked like
gear
they
up?
just popped out. That was weird. What happened to you? It's like as soon as you hit the
Yes.
ground, it just kind of...
Yeah, it says my gear is up, but no, it's not. My gear's down, and I've got
Now it
yellow
is.
lights all the way around. No, that's weird. I wonder if I didn't have one. You know what? When I took off at that last airport, my plane seemed to be tilting a little bit.
Maybe
By
one
the
of
way,
them's a
that
little
was
bit
that was
damaged.
That was a nice short runway landing.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like he hit a sandbag.
Yeah, it whipped me around 90 degrees. That is, all my gear is out. That is weird. Okay,
All right,
let's see if I
guys,
can move this
let's go ahead and take a quick 10-minute break. We're in 10 minutes. We're not on the runway. We're in the air in 10 minutes. So make it quick. Grab a drink, grab a snack, use the restroom. Yeah, that was an absolute slammer of a landing, wasn't it? That was just weird looking, how it looked like it was a relatively decent touchdown, and then your airplane looked like it hit something. Just kind of spun out of control.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on with this because my plane won't roll, and then it's like things are grabbing it and whipping me around. Like right.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah, that is bizarre. That C-130H just acts weird in the new sim. Maybe that's just more weirdness that it's doing. You discovered a new one though. I've never seen that happen.
I've never had it happen in this plane before. Like right now, I'm taxiing nice and straight. Huh. That is weird.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go grab a cocktail. I'll be right back.
Okay, same here.
Yeah, Bruce, we are all flying the C-130. Well, there's a couple different versions. I'm in the C-130J, and the other two guys are in the C-130H, all from Captain Sim. It's got some weird stuff to it, but usually not this weird. These flights always go by so damn quick. I can't believe we've already been flying for an hour and a half. Getting to our penultimate stop usually takes me by surprise. I'm like, oh yeah, guess what? We're almost done. Got one more leg to go. Longhorn, you must be paused at the moment.
Yeah, I'm in the control setting. I'm trying to see if I can figure out why my elevator trim up and down is not working on the airplane, even though it's set properly.
Yeah, you found a new one. That's an interesting way to have your plane brake. Yeah, I just noticed that we're missing Split Horse tonight. That's who we're missing. No Split Horse.
So what else could they call? Let me see. What do they call? Let me go back out. What do they call that wheel? No, actually, no. That's.
I'm guessing that there might be somewhere in the realism settings that you might be able to turn it right down to like flying arcade style, and it won't do any of that weird shit. It's like it's trying to do something realistic and it ain't working. It's not very realistic.
So the pitch control knob. I want to see if I can find if there's any setting for that, because that's what I expect to work with my elevator trim. So
Oh,
pitch
no.
control knob.
That's not exactly how that works. The pitch control knob is only for your autopilot. When you're in autopilot, the pitch control knob will pitch your nose up and down. Other than that, it has no effect on the airplane. If you're not in autopilot, it won't do anything.
Well, that the dial works by hand with the mouse, but I'm trying to get my yoke to turn it too.
You might not be able to. Most of the controls you can't. Like I said, when it comes to the autopilot, the only thing I've been able to map is the main. I can turn the autopilot on and off, but I can't do a heading hold or a altitude hold. I can't rotate the pitch knob. I can't do any of that. I have to do it by hand. It's kind of a pain because it's not really right in front of you. You have to go off to the side to do it.
Okay, so there is a decrease autopilot pitch hold reference and increase autopilot pitch hold reference.
Let me know how that works. I'm skeptical, but if it works, let me know.
Yeah, there's autopilot pitch leveler hold, which I don't want. Autopilot pitch leveler off, don't want that.
There's lots of those though. For instance, there's a heading hold that you can map, but it won't work. Trust me, it won't work. The only button on the entire autopilot system that I've been able to map to my stick is the main power on and off. But maybe I missed something. I don't know. It'd be nice if I could map anything else to it, because like I said, it's a pain to have to go down to the right-hand side every time.
So let's try that. And save. And let's go back and see if my pitch knob will work now with. No. Okay, maybe if I put it, maybe I gotta turn my autopilot on. Nope, I can't turn it on because I'm not on the ground. Or I'm not flying. Okay, yeah, it won't let me engage the autopilot. Well, I guess I won't find out till I get it in the air.
We'll find out. Yeah, let me know. I'd be interested if that worked, but I'm sure I tried it and it didn't. I'm going to go ahead and pull it back out onto this runway, and we're going to be out of here in 3 minutes, guys. You got 3 minutes, and we're up in the air. Should have a nice sunset to our tail. That'll be nice. Some beautiful colors for this last leg. It's a plenty long runway, so we'll get out of here, no problem. All right, gentlemen, 2 minutes. Grab your snacks and drinks. 2 minutes, we're out of here.
See if I can taxi my plane back out without it freaking out on me again.
It was doing some weird stuff. Yeah, it probably is going to keep doing it.
You know what? I think my parking brake was on.
Oh, you know what? That might have done it. That might have done it. I mean, when you touched down, it looked like you hit something. It was just like bang, and it spun you around. It was weird.
Okay, yeah, because I don't think, I'm almost positive I didn't engage it once I landed right here, but it was on.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, right. I think there is somewhere, I haven't really found how to use it, but there is like an auto brake. As soon as you touch down, it applies the brakes. But I just figure I'm going to do that by hand anyway. I didn't really need to worry about that. Anyway, guys, it's about time to take off. Let's same thing. Let's climb up to 10,000 feet. We're going to take a slight right-hand turn out of here, and we're going to be on our last leg. So climb 10,000, right-hand turn, and let's get out of here in 10 seconds. If you need more time, let me know.
Right behind you.
We're going to be passing directly over Kilo Hotel Sierra, India. Don't be fooled, that is not our airport, but we're going to go directly over it as if it was. Anyway, Lazerbolt is spooling up. We're rolling. Let's get in the air. Sure do love this bird though, man. This Hercules, you can't beat it. It's awesome. Until it starts acting weird. I gotta say though, this C-130J works absolutely perfectly except for the model matching. That's the only thing that doesn't work perfectly in it.
Yeah, I hope they get that fixed or something.
You and me both. Yeah, get that fixed, man.
I haven't had any issues with my H model tonight other than, you know, my the map or the flight plan, but otherwise the airplane's acting just fine.
Right. I haven't had any issues with the model matching of the H version. It's everything else that's giving me problems on the H. I can't even keep the engine started on that thing. They just randomly shut themselves off. You all remember. That was a terrible flight. Terrible couple flights, actually. I thought I had it fixed, but I didn't. Anyway, a little bit of a right-hand turn out of here, and we'll be back on course.
Well, it didn't work.
You're
Still have no pitch control with my yoke.
Your yoke does do pitch though, right? You just can't do the pitch knob.
No, I don't have a
Like when
knob
you
or
pull-
anything on it. I just have two buttons that I was mapping for, one for down, one for up.
Okay.
That's how I use the elevator trim.
Right, but your yoke does work. I mean, you push forward, it goes down. You pull.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you got
Yeah,
pitch
that
control.
works.
You just don't have
Oh, yeah.
autopilot pitch control.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, like I said, the only thing I managed to ever map to my stick when it comes to the C-130 is the autopilot main. That's the only thing that'll let you map. I don't know why, if they do
Yeah.
that on purpose or what, but it is an analog system, unlike most airplanes, so maybe that's it.
Well, the problem is being in VR, I've got to really crank my head way around to the right and hold the mouse over it and dial it up or dial it down, which then I tend to crash into things when I'm not looking out the windshield. So I was hoping to just push a button to go up or go down, but I'll manage. That's how I've done it all along.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're not going to let us do that one. Climbing through 8,000 for 10,000. Just a beautiful sunset around here. Does it still have you guys considerably to the right of the pink line?
Yeah.
About to find out, but I think so, because I'm like right on top of the pink line right now and with no signs of it turning onto it.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I latched right onto it.
Yeah, it just went right past it, so I guess I'm gonna do heading mode again.
Yeah, luckily that heading bug is real easy to follow. It's almost easier than on a normal airplane.
Yeah, the only issue is it doesn't give me the miles away from it, so I don't know how far away I
True.
am from the next stop.
We still got a bit to go. We're 184. I just leveled out at 10,500. Better bring my speed back down to 260. Well, you know what it's time for. It is time for trivia questions. Remember, sometimes an acceptable answer is nobody knows. A Roman Noodle in the, that's not the question, but in the chat, a Roman Noodle asks us, are you guys using radio frequency hit waypoints? We are not. We're just going straight direct to the airports. We don't have any particular procedure for landing. We didn't have everything set. But we are doing some ILS approaches and things like that. For instance, our last airport, we just did a full ILS landing. That's how we did that. But yeah, we're just going direct to. We're not really hitting waypoints. And when we get to the airport, we'll just swing out to the right or the left and help us line up for whatever runway. As a matter of fact, I need to check what runway we're doing right now. Let's see our last destination here. Like I said earlier, our last destination has taken us to St. Joseph, Missouri, which was the final stop on the Pony Express. So yeah. All right, let's see here. We are going to be coming in on runway 17 just because it's the closest to straight in. I've only got a 3-knot wind going on. So count on runway 17 when we get there, gentlemen, when we get to Rosecrans Memorial at Kilo Sierra Tango Juliet. We have an 8,000 foot of asphalt runway, plenty long enough for us, by a lot, plenty big enough. And we're only at an elevation of 811 feet. We don't have an ILS frequency to use, but we will be coming in on runway 17. Count on that. Alrighty, how about a trivia question here? Let's see here. Here's an easy trivia question. Somebody must know this. Remember, nobody knows is an acceptable answer. Please, people in the chat, play along. Go ahead and enter your answers. Everybody in Discord, go ahead and throw your answers out there. These questions are designed not to actually be answered, because I know most of them are questions that people don't know the answer to. That's why I asked it. They're more designed to generate conversation. So yeah, don't feel bad if you don't know the answer. It's not that type of trivia. But anyway, let's say you're in a spaceship and you're heading into interstellar space to visit the nearest star, or any other star for that matter. Why is it that the sooner you leave is not necessarily the quickest way to get there?
I'm going to go ahead and say nobody knows.
No, good guess, but no, we actually do know this. Why is it that if you're heading...
I don't know.
Okay. Stars move in an orbit or in the galaxy.
And if you wait, it might get closer?
Well, not only that, but it moves. So
that's true. I mean, that is exactly why you can't just, like, if you want to go to Mars, you can't just point towards Mars and gas it. You'll never get there. You have to be where Mars is gonna be when it gets there. But that's not exactly the answer to this question. And this is a legitimate question.
We're not talking about time dilation, right?
No, we're not talking about time dilation. This is a legitimate question that has popped up. NASA scientists have studied this, and there is a good reason why, even if we had powerful enough spaceships right now to do an interstellar journey to another star system, why is it better to wait than leave immediately?
First of all, you can't slow down, number one. That's the hard part.
That's part of it.
Part of it is slowing down because of gravity.
I see Lucian Gimmond. Sorry about that. Trashed your name, but let's see here. Does it have anything to do with the curve or trajectory of your heading? Negative. Negative. It's actually quite a simple answer. That they have discussed this in the past. They've even used this before. Anyway, let's see here. We got another answer. Does it have to do with the curve or trajectory? No. Because the Earth is flat and you can't go, a Roman noodle says. That is not true. But yeah, the reason why, if you're heading to an interstellar trip, it's going to take you a long time. It's going to take you, you know, probably 100 years to get there. And the reason why you don't want to leave sooner rather than later is because the technology that you're using to, you know, is sure to advance to the point where you'll be overtaken by a faster ship. Whatever technology you're using to get to the nearest star, you're going to get halfway there and somebody's going to pass you because they've got a faster ship. You know what I mean? 30 years, you've been on the road for 30 years, and then somebody with 30-year better technology is going to pass you. And that's just the way it is. The experts calculate that you should never leave on an interstellar journey until you can get there in under 50 years. If it's going to take you longer than 50 years to get there, don't bother, because somebody's going to get there before you. Interesting.
Nobody knows.
That's not a nobody knows question. I just gave you the answer. But just for the record, like I said, that is the formula that they use, like at NASA and other smart people all over the world. If they were going to take off on an interstellar journey that's going to take a ton of time, might even be a generational journey where your kids are going to make it there instead of you, just don't bother leaving until you can get there in under 50 years. If it's going to take you longer than 50 years, somebody in a much faster, more advanced spaceship is going to get there first. Don't waste your time.
Yeah, the thing about going to the stars, there's so many of them. Just choosing the one to go to would be impossible.
We ain't going to run out of them. Yeah, hopefully they would pick something interesting too. It's like, let's just go to that one because it's the nearest. It's like, well, what do you expect to be there? Nothing? Go to some place where there might be something cool, you know, even if it takes 2 lifetimes.
Yeah, robotics are a good way to do that too. AI robotics.
Well, if I can't take my smoker or my grill with me, then I ain't going.
I'm with you. They probably wouldn't like me barbecuing on a spaceship. Although, if I had a chance to go to space, I would take it in a heartbeat. I'm not one of those people where it's like, outer space, no way. It's like, fuck yeah, put me up there right now. Get me into outer space. I am ready. I'd much rather go into outer space than scuba diving or something like that. Like I've told you guys before, that there is no way. You could not pay me enough to jump off of a boat. I just couldn't. If we're out in the middle of the ocean, I would not jump off that boat. I don't care. I'll jump out of an airplane before I jump out of a boat. Screw that. I want to go to space because it's as far away as possible as the water. It's like, put me in space so I don't have to go anywhere underwater. I hate underwater. And it's weird because I love kayaking. I kayak all the time. But I'm not going to jump out of my kayak in the middle of a lake. If I can't see the bottom of it, no thank you. If I'm on a river where I can see the bottom of it, that's fine. No problem. But if I can't see the bottom, you're not going to get me in that water. You're just not going to. It creeps me out so bad. Just the thought of whatever the hell's down there and I can't see it. It's the worst. It's the worst. I'll jump out of an airplane before I jump out of a boat. I don't care. Hopefully with a parachute. Got 137 miles before we get to St. Joseph. We're making good time.
There is an ILS on 35.
Is there?
And, yeah.
You know, that's one thing I've never attempted to do is a back course landing on the C-130. I think it has something to do with, there's that weird, there's a setting on the radio beam coupler that's called like the blue course, something like that.
Yeah, okay.
I think that has something to do with it, but I've never monkeyed with it. You are right, we do have a runway 35 ILS. You know what, just for fun, let's go ahead and land on that ILS runway. So scratch the runway 17 landing and count on a runway 35 landing. Yeah, we've got an 8,000 foot runway of asphalt, plenty, 800 feet of elevation. The ILS frequency is 110.3. 110.3, gentlemen. Got my nav 1 frequency set.
While you're there, or if you go back there, do you know what the heading was?
Yeah, the heading of the
course.
runway is going to be 359 magnetic, 359 degrees.
Okay. Got it.
So I always try to keep a little pad of paper next to me because I got to write that shit down. I'll never remember that. I think it's going to be dark by the time I get there.
Yeah, I still have 2326 UTC, so it's still pretty light where I'm at.
Here we go. I had to turn on my collision lights. I love how they look. That's pretty. With that indigo blue that they glow. It's real nice. Yeah, time-wise, I've got just 13 past noon UTC. That can't be right. Well, actually, it could be right. Never mind. It ain't noon here. It's 1800 hours.
So, my local clock says I am at 1827.
Oh, it's probably
Yeah,
even
yeah.
darker for you. Well, it's not that it's
No.
getting dark for me, but behind me, I can tell it's going to be dark soon.
No, 1827, 627, 6:30 in the afternoon. It's still light here.
Yeah, it's still light here too, but it's going to be dark soon, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I know. What I'm saying is you're probably set an hour or two later than I am.
It doesn't sound like it.
Yeah,
We're both at 1800 hours.
No, you can't be. Not if you're dark already.
I'm
Unless
not
you
dark
change your
already.
date.
Dude, I'm not dark already. I'm just saying it's going to be dark soon. I can tell. The sun's almost down. But it is not dark yet. But it will be very soon. By the time we get to this airport, it will be.
And that's what I'm saying. My sun right now is like at about about a 45-degree angle behind my plane.
I can't even see the sun. It's just nothing but clouds and everything is orange. Everything is all blown out color-wise.
Yeah, what does your local clock say on the far left?
Hey, we have a surprise guest in the chat going on here. Sable stops in. He's waving hi to his old flying pals. What's going on, Sable? It's good to see you, buddy. We just left Colorado Springs just tonight, so very odd. Let's see, my in-game clock. Let's see, it says about 10 to 9.
Yeah, so you're 2.5 hours later than me.
Weird, because when I looked on my my time in the game, it said it was 1800 hours local. But in my cockpit, it does not. It says 9 o'clock. Well, we got 111 miles before we get to where we're heading to here. Head to Missouri before we get there to St. Joseph's. How about another trivia question? Remember, it is an acceptable answer to say nobody knows. Okay, here's one. The famed and respected biologist Stephen Jay Gould, and he was a very famous biologist, very respected in his field. Stephen Jay Gould spent his entire life studying fish. What conclusion did Stephen Jay Gould draw after an entire lifetime of studying fish? What was his conclusion? Anyone? Let's have some answers. Chat? Anyone? Discord?
Goldfish aren't really gold.
That goldfish aren't gold? Yeah.
They wasted his time. Oh, no.
Kinda. Once again, Coast, you're on fire. You're close. Does anyone know what respected biologist Stephen Jay Gould concluded after studying fish his entire life?
They taste better fried than baked.
Oh boy, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big fish eater, but if you fry it up real good, I'll try it.
I do remember watching Stephen Gould on Nova.
That's Stephen J. Gould?
Yep.
Well, here's the answer. After an entire lifetime of studying fish, he concluded that there's no such thing as a fish. Right? Yeah, the fish just don't. There's no such thing as a fish. The word fish has absolutely no biological meaning whatsoever. It's nonsense. It means nothing. It says most of the things that we call fish are completely unrelated to each other, and most of them aren't even on the same branch of the evolutionary tree. It would be the same thing as us calling bumblebees, vultures, and bats all birds just because they fly. Well, bumblebees, vultures, and bats are not all birds just because they fly. But that's the same thing going on with fish. Like a sea bass is a completely unrelated creature to a freaking trout. Absolutely, completely unrelated. They have nothing in common with each other at all except gills. And they swim in the ocean, and people tend to call everything in the ocean a fish, basically, you know, everything except mammals. But yeah, after studying fish his entire life, he just realized that the word fish is meaningless, absolutely meaningless nonsense.
Yeah, it's what they call that, convergent evolution or divergent evolution. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the article I read said something about like a trout is more closely related to a camel than it is to a catfish. You know what I mean? On the evolutionary scale, it's closer to a camel than a catfish. Sable says, I see the quality of trivia has escalated since I sat down.
We're not escalators. We're elevators.
Yeah, like I said, I like to have trivia questions that it's like, I don't expect anybody actually to know the answer, but I'm trying to generate some conversation, you know what I'm saying? Something interesting to chew the fat about. "90 miles away, we'll start making preparations here real soon. When we get down there, I'm not sure what they recommend for the height of the ILS, but I'm going to go down to about 4,000 feet. That should be just over 3,000 feet above the ground, so I'm guessing 4,000 feet will be just fine. We'll be under the glide slope. We did determine we're at runway 36, 35, something like that, so bear that all in mind here. In the next maybe 30 miles, we're going to get set up for that ILS approach. Alrighty, how about another trivia question here? Got your thinking caps on. Here's an easy one. What is a Roman dodecahedron?
10-sided.
12-sided.
12, okay. Dodeca.
A Roman dodecahedron. Hundreds of these have been found.
Is that that little
dice?
ball?
They're like dice.
It looks like a 12-sided dice.
For Dungeons and Dragons.
Right?
I'd say nobody knows. 'Cause I don't.
Nailed it. Bob got that one right. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what the hell a Roman dodecahedron is. A Roman dodecahedron is a small, hollow, 12-sided object with pentagonal faces found in Northern Europe during the Roman period. Hundreds of them have been found. They're often made of valuable metals like copper and bronze, and their purpose remains a complete mystery. Nobody knows what the hell they are. It's not mentioned in any writings. It's not, but they're common. They're all over the place. They think that it's probably not a toy because most of them are made out of valuable metals like copper and bronze. But then if you think about it, the copper and bronze ones are the only ones that survived. If they had any that were made of wood or clay or something, they probably didn't survive this long. But the copper and bronze ones, they don't know what it is. They have found them buried with a lot of rich women. Not men, but rich women have these dodecahedrons buried with them often. It has different size holes. Actually, you can go online and find pictures of it. And nobody has a solid conclusion of what the hell it is. Some people think it was some kind of rangefinder. You'd look through the different size holes. Some people think it would you could use it to help braid things. Like you could actually braid gold wire and copper wire, and then you'd have some nice chains to wear and things like that. People have demonstrated that it works. But nobody actually really knows what the hell it is. There's no record anywhere that explains what the hell it is. Some people suspect that it might have military uses. That's why it's not written about. Like it was some kind of like a secret decoder. They could use this, and if they put the right circle on the blah blah blah, they could decode the message. And that's why there's no actual evidence of what it was. But nobody knows what the hell it is. They got a million different ideas, and nobody knows what the hell these are, and they keep finding them. They would think that it was a gauge of some kind, but they keep finding them in different sizes. So that kind of blows that out of the water. If it's to gauge something, they would all be the uniform, but they're not.
I
see, they
found
should.
Mostly with women. I would suspect it's something to do with cosmetics. Or
I did see a YouTube demonstration of some lady using it to braid wire, and it worked really well. And then she had the different size holes that she would put it through. She'd be like, after you braid it once, then you'd put it through a smaller hole, and it changes the shape, and then you put it through a smaller hole again, and just keep doing that until you get the right shape or the right size. It's like, hey, it actually looked like, maybe she's onto something, because it worked really good. So here in another, I don't know, maybe 20 miles or so, I'm going to be turning right about 10 degrees. That will help us line up for that runway 36 approach at Kilo Sierra Tango Juliet. So did you guys hear that the Steelers finally signed Aaron Rodgers, that idiot?
Yeah, I have never seen so many memes on Facebook for anybody.
I tell you
now.
what, if I was a Steelers fan, I wouldn't like that one bit. I'd be very against that move. It was like, no way. There's no way he's better than anybody that we've already got. Plus, the guy's just a total idiot. I mean, I'm a Lions fan, so I've hated him for over a decade now. When he was Green Bay's quarterback, I always hated him. It's part of the bylaws. I have to hate him because he's the Green Bay's quarterback. But the last couple years, he's been real special, man. He's been extra special. Not to mention the fact that 2 years ago with the Jets, he got hurt and didn't play the whole season. And then last year with the Jets, he sucked. He was just awful.
Yeah, it's about time for him to retire. I don't think I'd even want to use him as a backup.
I wish he went to somebody like the Vikings. That would be so funny to have him go to the Vikings. Wouldn't that be great? Alrighty, we're about 60 miles out. I'm going to, about another 10 miles, I'm going to turn to the right here a little bit so we can start lining up for 3-6.
yeah, you've been paying attention to those Canadian wildfires there, Razor?
With the what now? The Canadian what?
Wildfires.
You got a bunch of wildfires up in Canada?
Yeah, in Alberta.
Yeah. The last time this happened, people asked me, it's like, are you getting a lot of smoke there from that? And I didn't even know what was going on. I don't know. I haven't noticed any smoke, if that's what's happening up north. We're pretty close to Canada up here.
Did you hear that story about the farming community that was found up in northern Michigan?
What story is that?
The Indians had a huge farming place 1,000 years ago in northern Michigan.
Well, that sounds about right so far. There are a lot of Indians around here, or Native Americans, so to speak.
Yeah. Menominee predecessor, whatever they are.
Yeah, the Menominees. There's a lot of them by the Menominee River. Sure. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and jog off to the right here. That sounded bad. I'm going to jog to the right here about, I don't know, 10 degrees or so. For some reason, it automatically turned off my running lights. My anti-collision lights, they turned themselves off.
Well, that's strange.
Of course, I think I just got the nighttime texture kind of loading in. You know how the interior we're playing, all the lights come on and everything. There's got to be a switch that you can make that not happen. Because I get everything set the way I want it, and then it turns nighttime, and it just automatically assumes how I want my lights to be.
Yeah, I seem to remember a setting for auto lights or auto flashlight or something like that.
Yeah, there's a setting for everything else. There's got to be one for that too. Well, they certainly don't have those weird crop circle looking things around here. The fields around here look like fields instead of circles. Alright, we got time for one last trivia question on our trivia flight night. The interesting question here. What was the first country to be attacked by robots? Anyone? Anyone in chat? Anyone in Discord? What was the first country to be attacked by robots?
Canada.
Nope, not Canada. Anyone else? Anyone? Chat? Any wild guesses?
I'll go with my standard old U.S.
The U.S.? Nope, not the U.S. I can say it was one of the U.S.'s allies, though. Well, if nobody has any answers or any guesses.
Great Britain.
Got it. Yes, Coast. Nailed it. Great Britain is the first country to ever be attacked by robots. The German V1 buzz bomb has always been considered a robot. The designers of the V1 buzz bomb even called it a flying robot. So yeah, that was the first recorded incident of robots attacking a country.
They were set up so that their engines would shut off at just about when they get over the target.
That's when their dive starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be scary. All of a sudden hearing that weird screeching buzz and then it's coming in.
Yeah, in fact, with the way, I've got connections over there. My in-laws went through the woods, and so they say they'd fly in and then they shut off. That's when they got worried.
Yeah, it's when they get quiet. You got to worry about it. I'm gonna go ahead and drop my drop my altitude down here. Let's see. I think, gosh, what did I say? About 4,000 feet should do the trick. Let's go down to 4,000. All right. I only have one more question. I didn't mean to go through all of them, but I do have one more question. Somebody will probably know this. In the book Swiss Family Robinson, right? Everybody's heard of that. The movies and all that, Swiss Family Robinson. In the book Swiss Family Robinson, what was the name of the family that got stranded on the island? It's easy, right? Anyone?
Swiss.
The name of the family was
Robinson.
not Swiss.
Not Quist.
No.
Did you say Robinson?
Yes, Swiss Family Robinson. What's the name of the family that gets stranded?
I'm saying Robinson.
Negative.
Well, that would be
Negative. That is what you would think. Anyone? Any wild speculation?
No idea.
Well, this is another one of them. Nobody knows. Swiss writer Johann Weiss titled the book Family Robinson Crusoe as a reference to Robinson Crusoe. Not that their last name is Robinson, but he was, here's a family going through the same thing that Robinson Crusoe did. And that was why he wrote the book, Family Robinson Crusoe. In the book, they were never given a surname. They always referred to each other as Ma and Pa and the kids. They never said their last names, and nobody knows it. They don't have a last name. Nobody knows it. When it was translated into English, it was given the name Swiss Family Robinson. And it wasn't until the movies where they actually started calling the family the Robinsons. When Disney made the Swiss Family Robinson movie, they said, well, we got to give them a name. We can't just not name them. So they just called them the Robinsons. But in the books, there is no mention of a last name whatsoever. It's just Mom, Pa, and the kids. I'm almost at my 4,000 feet here. So I'm going to jog a little farther south to help line up for that runway. And I'm going to hold at 4,000. Switching my radio beam coupler over to AFF. Okay, I lied. I got one more quick one. How many muscles are in your fingers? No wild
6.
guesses? Sorry, Bob?
6.
Negative.
Yeah, guess I keep my dunce cap on the rest of the
0.
night.
Coast gets another one. 0. Your fingers have no muscles in them, only tendons. Alright, I'm done now, I promise. .27 miles out from runway 36. Actually, it's runway 35. And a reminder, we do have a ILS frequency of 110.3 and a magnetic heading of 359er. 359er degrees magnetic for runway 35. My directional indicator just spun around, so I know I'm in range of the ILS feather. I'm at 4,000 feet, and it looks like I'm barely above the ground, but I'm at least 3,000 above the ground. It don't look like it, though.
Looks like Wingnut's beating you.
Yeah, he's going to swing in there right before I do. I still got a few miles to go to the east before I'm lined up at that runway. So, Sable, I don't know if you're still in the chat or not, and are still listening in the background, but yeah, we would love to have you stop by one of these days and miss flying with you, buddy. It was always a good old time. We're still here every Friday. It's been over 14 years, and we're here every Friday. Not 100% sure what we're going to be doing next week. I'm going to have to come up with a flight plan. I don't think we're going to be in C-130s, though. Yeah, 14 years. Hard to believe, isn't it? I mean, it's actually been longer than that, but I've been doing this Friday thing for about 14. All right, switching over to the ILS. I am underneath the glide slope. ILS is lining me up with runway 35. Everything's looking good. Yeah, I used to fly a lot of air hauler, that is for absolutely sure. I absolutely used to love that game. I haven't played it in a long time. I'm not sure it's compatible with the new sim. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it ain't. They even had Air Hauler 2 that was going around for a while, and that was a lot of fun. That increased the playability of it a lot. But like I said, I'm not sure it works on this sim. I could tell already I forgot to put that course heading in.
I go back farther than even FSX, you know. Back to the old Microsoft flight days, which nobody talks about purposely.
Yeah, like I said, speaking of the old Microsoft flight days, that was when, remember that guy that was at the airport when we took off? I said there was a guy called Turd Ferguson.
Yep.
That guy used to fly with us way back. I don't remember seeing him in actual flight simulator, but he used to fly with us in flight all the time. I remember that name. I mean, I suppose there could be another Turd Ferguson, but that's an awesome name. That's one of the best names I ever heard.
You mean there's other members of the Ferguson family?
Yeah, you don't want to know their names. Yeah, Turd Ferguson is an old Saturday Night Live reference. Yeah, I agree. Flight was fun. It had its issues. I like regular simulator better, but Flight had its moment. It's what got us all together. I mean, the game Flight, Microsoft Flight, that's what got us all to start hanging out together. And then they stopped supporting the game, and we moved over to FSX. We played that for a long time. But yeah, we had a lot of fun with Flight, that's for sure.
You know,
Well, I don't know how
Microsoft
many
flight-
miles away I am. I just know I'm inside 20 miles, otherwise my glide slope indicator wouldn't be illuminated. But I know I'm within 20 miles. Get ready to turn final.
don't think anybody flies X-plane anymore, at least around here.
No. I don't even know what version of X-Plane I have. I have a very old version of it that I played for just a little bit. Just enough to see if it's any good or not. I certainly haven't played it in the last, gosh, 5 or 6 or 8 years. It's been a long time. With this new sim, I don't know if you've tried this new sim, Sable, but it's fantastic. Even the 2020 version is fantastic, and this 2024 is amazing. Absolutely love it. It's a masterpiece. I'm sure you'll get plenty of people complaining about it. People like to complain about everything. That's awesome. But it's a masterpiece. I love this game.
For what we use it for, the one we focus on, which is the free flight portion of it, other people are looking for things like career mode and all those other sorts of gamey things.
It did add a bunch of stuff like that. Yeah, plus the ability to like walk around, you know. But hey, that's designed to draw gamers in, you know. The simmers are already going to get it. They're trying to give something for everybody else, you know. And hey, the more popular the game is, even if it's non-sim players playing it, the more people that play this game, the better it is for all of us. My glide slope indicator is falling. Hopefully it'll latch on here pretty soon. But yeah, you can tell definitely that was one of their goals with this new sim, was to add things like walking around and a career mode, where they clearly added a bunch of stuff for the average gamer to be interested in, instead of just simmers. Like I said, simmers are going to get it anyway. All of us, we're going to get the game anyway. You don't need to give us the ability to walk around. I don't care. But a lot of people want that. So hey, the more people who are into the game, the better it is for all of us. Give them more motivation to keep it updated. Going gear down. From the looks of it, I'm about 2 miles out. Full ILS approach, glide slope locked on, coming in smooth. Hey Longhorn, got you back there. Looking good, buddy. You must be close. I can actually see your gear. In this sim, you can't see people's gear until they're right on you.
Yeah, I am. I don't see. I just see your name. I don't see. It doesn't tell me how far you are. But
I'm right in front of you, man. I can see you clear as a
yeah,
bell.
yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. I see your plane. Okay, there you go. Yeah, you're 0.29 miles ahead of me. It's only a quarter mile ahead.
Well, here we are. We made it to Rosecrans Memorial at St. Joseph, Missouri. This was one of the final stops of the Pony Express. So, yeah. We'll help do this last leg of the Pony Express and get whatever mail they forgot to deliver.
Hey, my outer marker beacon or indicator just went off. It's the first time I've seen that thing go off in a long time.
Really? I really wish that it gave you an audible warning when you're within, you know, like usually when you're doing an ILS approach, when you get within range of it, you hear over the speakers, you'll hear that Morse code playing. And it doesn't do that in this sim. I really wish it did. Otherwise, you got no idea if you're close enough.
That's the ICAO code, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, I think it does. It just Morse codes. It gives you the Morse code for the airport.
Yeah, Morse code.
But it's like I used to count on that just so I would know I'm within range. You know, as a matter of fact, I think that's the whole point of it.
And also try not to land in the wrong airport. That's the other thing.
Exactly. Well, plus that way, if you know your Morse code good enough, you can tell if you're latched on to the right airport or the wrong one.
Yeah, don't take long to learn Morse code.
Anyway, I'm on 1 mile, final approach, getting ready to pass the freeway here. I didn't expect St. Louis to have, well, I mean, this ain't St. Louis actually, but I didn't expect St. Joseph to have this much water. Over the threshold. Oop, get out of your way here. That was a nice short landing. Both of us. For a second, I forgot you were right behind me. I'm gonna go over here and park next to my buddy Wingnut Bob.
See, my plane is doing that weird thing again.
It's like as soon as you turn, as soon as you get on the ground, it starts like hitting your brakes weird or something. What's going on? Maybe it's actually doing like differential braking for you. You know, like it's doing one side or the other, and that's why you can't seem to go straight.
Yeah, it's when I hit my brakes is when it freaks out. Like the front end comes out the ground, and then my plane just changes direction really quick.
I'm wondering if like maybe you hit your brakes and it's just putting on the left side or the right side, and it's just not doing it balanced like it should.
Weird thing is it didn't do this when I took off, or even the first airport. It's just been from the second airport to now.
Yeah, that C-130H was giving me lots of problems. That's why I had to switch to the J. It's just, it wasn't made for this version of the sim, so it just gives you all kinds of weird problems.
Maybe I got a flat tire after I landed with my parking brakes on last time. Can't really tell. The tires are all like too low to the ground.
Yeah, I'm sitting all crooked over here. Don't know if I got something wrong with my landing gear or I'm just sitting in a hole. Yeah, I got that weird resource usage message again. I've never had that before a couple days ago. It doesn't seem to be causing any problems. I'm still getting smooth frame rates.
No, people are talking about they're getting it with like the most powerful computer you could get, and they still get it. I think it's just overly sensitive right now because I get it all the time, and mine's not slowing down at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
you
seen
got
it.
that monster card too.
Also in control settings, when if you have to make any changes, it seems to take twice as long as it used to since the update 2.
Before it even updates, huh?
Yeah, you just have to see that little wheel spinning, you know, like it's 15 seconds between anytime you make one adjustment, you have to wait another 15 to 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's been
New.
addressed in update 3. So Sim Update 3 is supposed to fix that. They know about it.
I really do like the 6-bladed prop on this Hercules J instead of the H with your measly 4-bladed props.
Yeah. Well, my tires all have air in them. I don't know what the heck's causing those weird things. Don't see any flat spots.
Do I look like I'm holding a flashlight?
Where are you at? Oh. No. No, but you're doing the moonwalk, though.
I think someone's trying to steal your airplane. There's a guy in your seat.
Take your sunglasses off. It's night.
He's Corey Hart.
My airplane just straightened itself out. I don't know why, but
Pretty tall tower up there.
yes, it is.
Well, tell them I said, hey.
Well, everybody watching the stream and participating, I think we're going to go ahead and call it a stream now. It's been about 2.5 hours. I really enjoy everybody's participation tonight. We did the trivia night, and it was a lot of fun having people trying to answer the questions. And I appreciate you joining me. If you guys ever wanted to join us in the game, it's really easy to do. We put the group flight information in the description of the video, so you know where we're going and what we're flying. You can get the game itself on GamePass, so that's a really good cheap way to get it, because it's pretty expensive if you do it the traditional way. And we would love to have you. And please like and subscribe and all that kind of good stuff. And I appreciate everybody watching, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye now.